It's so dark. It was amazing! Oh wait! There's more! It was awful! I'm back! CGI shit!
I rest my case.
It was fucking horrible!
The horn of Helm Hammer shall sound in the deep. One last time! Alright guys, so what's happening? It's BigJackFilms here. Welcome to an opening night, and is sort of the last most anticipated movie for me for opening night. This has been an interesting year. I've actually managed to see most of the movies I wanted to see this year for opening nights, for new movies, and this is one that I've been kind of anticipating for a couple of years since it was announced, and wondering when it was going to come out. And it's a movie that I was surprised they were making, and I was thinking, well, how the hell are they going to do this today? And I don't know about y'all, but this this movie's interesting. That, of course, being the spin-off prequel film, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, which is a prequel spin-off to the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit. And it's in that continuity. It is in no way connected to Rings of Power. And, oh boy. So, full disclosure, as you can tell from the hammer, from the fact I quote the movie. By the way, Cineplex sells these. This is the Hammer of Helm Hammerhand, and it is so cool. But what is it? Why does Cineplex sell hammers? I wish I could show you, but what it is, I'm not kidding. It's a popcorn bucket. This is the coolest thing. Okay, I'll admit popcorn buckets have been really freaking rad as of late with movies, but this one, this is a full-on prop. Like, this thing's cool. I'm going to be using this in future things, but this was worth it. I paid like $30, but you know what? Worth it for the collector's piece. And how often are you going to get a replica of the Hammer of Hammer, whatever the hell it is? But the Hammer of Rohan. I need more hammers, to the point. But with the War of the Rohirrim, full disclosure, I love Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is one of my pinnacle pieces of cinematic experiences I've ever had in my life. It's the trilogy that got me into not just more into filmmaking, but really got me to want to tell stories. Without Lord of the Rings, I would not be doing the storyline show that I'm doing today. It encouraged me and inspired me to write. I love what Peter Jackson did with that trilogy. It introduced me to the fantasy genre, got me into it more. I've been into more big epic swords and battles and stuff. This shit, Lord of the Rings is just tight shit for me. I hold it so dear to my heart. And I'll even defend the Hobbit trilogy. Yes, studios really meddled with that movie. It broke Peter Jackson. It made him kind of retire filmmaking. But it is still consistent with his Lord of the Rings trilogy, and you can watch it as a 6-film series. Rings of Power can suck a dick. I've heard I am not even going to give it the chance to watch it. I have heard nothing but utter, total shit about that series. I will not give it the time of day. Fuck that show. Not going to review it, ever. But then we have this, which was a surprise for me, and a welcome one. War of the Rohirrim is a spin-off prequel to the 6 films. This takes place 200 years before the adventures in the Hobbit trilogy, before Smaug claimed the mountain, before Bilbo found the ring in Gollum's cave, and it focuses more on the Kingdom of Rohan, and it focuses on, specifically, the Hammer, who was one of the original kings of Rohan, and how we saw the origins of essentially the great castle and fortress of the Two Towers, Helm's Deep. And with that said, you're thinking, well, it's a spin-off movie, it's not going to be as good. And how can they do it today with all this shit going down? Well, the trick is they actually did not shoot this in live action. this is an anime movie. When I heard that, I was like, okay, you take Lord of the Rings and you take anime and you mesh them together and you make them fuck. And it's this? I was on cloud 9. I was sold immediately. Like, Lord of the Rings and anime come hand in hand, especially if you're dealing with Jackson's trilogy, because one of my favorite shows of all time is Inuyasha, which I call the Lord of the Rings of anime. Now we've got Lord of the Rings jumping into anime. And this is done by the people who I think did Ghost in the Shell, which I like. I like Ghost in the Shell fine, but I'm very more interested about this. And apparently a lot of people don't like this movie. This just came out. Reviews, they've been tanking it. They've been panning it across the board. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is wrong with all of you people? This movie was incredible. I really enjoyed it. In fact, went with Honey Bear to see it. She never really got into Lord of the Rings, but after this she said, okay, I want to watch more of this. And I'm like, I know, right? In fact, we're starting to rewatch The Hobbit, and I'm like, I'm all for this shit. So, short review on my end is, I loved this. This is one of the best movies of the year for me. Anybody who thinks otherwise, everybody who is saying, this is woke, it's another strong, independent female character who need no man, all that shit, y'all can go fuck a walrus. This is... It's funny because we're so immediately ready to grab this and hate this because of the... See, here's the thing. I'm just going to say this to all the right-wing hating motherfuckers. Like, I understand to some degree your frustration with Hollywood politics. I understand why you don't like this, why it's taken over the narrative, and why you feel a little bit like this is violating my escapism. I get it. But at the same time, there are times when that shit is kind of appropriate, and this is where it's appropriate. It is done to a very balanced way where people can still enjoy it. And you've kind of exposed yourself as just saying, you don't hate, you know what it is? You don't hate the fact that it's woke. You don't hate the fact that it's, a female character. You just hate Hollywood. And not only do you hate Hollywood, you hate IPs. You are an IP hater to the core. Because you are not even going to give this goddamn movie a chance. I know it is taken from the appendices, it is stretching out the Tolkien IP. But can we all agree this is better than Rings of Power, like, hands down? Like, this is the part that upsets me about Yall. Y'all on the right. Y'all are saying, oh, it's terrible and this and that, but you won't even say that it's better than Rings of Power. Did you even watch Rings of Power? I think you faked it. I mean, at least I admit that I don't watch Rings of Power. I refuse to. This is way better. Way better. Animation, gorgeous. Storyline, very engaging. Connecting it to the trilogy, pretty damn good. Like, you see more and more how this story is progressing, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. I want more of this shit. I want more of this era of Lord of the Rings. I want these spin-off movies in the Jackson universe, whether it be live action or anime. I want another anime film. Like, this shit's awesome. This is a good way to do it. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I don't know why the fuck you're hijacking this and saying it's bad. I think it's incredible. And this coming from a guy who capitalized on your bullshit just recently. And I know people said, oh, that's terrible and stuff, but it's like, listen, I was just making an extra buck. The algorithm has not been kind. So, to the point, basically, this movie is all about, like, Rohan, and I love that it's not just orcs on men. It's men on men. They're fighting each other. And you have this great, like, this character, I think, Hala, I can't remember her name, but, you know, pretty good character, all things considered. You can, like, I love at the beginning, they say, this is about the tale of somebody who will not be foretold. So basically, this is a character that will not be remembered, but at least, you know, she did make some impact. And people are saying, oh, this ruins the whole lore. No, it doesn't, because she did one thing and that's it. She didn't really, like, have any effect. In fact, some stuff at the end, by the way, spoilers for this. Well, kind of minor spoilers, I'll say. There is relevance for later on in the films, but it doesn't involve her. Again, you guys are stretching this so goddamn hard to try to make it where it's another bad IP. And in reality, you just want all IPs to go away. You want Hollywood to burn. That's your motive. So, but, you know, there are some goods within the cracks of shit, is all I will say. And this is one of the good ones. In terms of the cast is fantastic. I did not watch the Japanese version. I watched the English dub, of course. But the best actor in this movie is Hammerhand. He is the coolest character. He's played by... God, I can't remember the actor's name, but he was in Braveheart. He was, Uncle Argyle. Or, what is it, William Wallace's uncle. The one in the movie who says, "First, learn to use this, then I'll teach you to use this." And as a Scotsman myself, as a descendant of the Buchanan clan of Scotland, love that actor, love Braveheart. I love that Jackson finally came out and said, yeah, Braveheart got me to finally say I can make Lord of the Rings because those battles were insane. Ironically, Braveheart turns 30 next year. I'm thinking about something for that. But anyway, he is the best character. You see why this man was a Legend of Rohan. He is awesome. He is cool. He packs a punch. Like, he is punching people like he's Captain Falcon. Falcon punch. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Speaking of Falcons, the Eagles are in this, which I thought was cool. At first, I thought they were going to talk, but then I'm like, nah, don't talk. Keep in consistency with the other films. The battle scenes were, again, pretty solid, still on par with Lord of the Rings in animation. I know a lot of people are complaining about the animation, like, being a little jerky and dodgy to a degree. You could tell they were doing some kind of experimentation with the anime style, and it's a good first test. I will say, it felt a lot like a Rankin Bass movie, and I mean like that in a great way. As you guys know, Rankin Bass did the first adaptation of The Hobbit, and they also did Return of the King, because Ralph Bakshi did his Lord of the Rings, which I also like. And I felt there was a little bit of love for Ralph Bakshi in this. There was a lot of Rankin Bass in this. More so The Last Unicorn. Like, I felt like Hara, the main princess of Rohan, the shield maiden of Rohan in this, takes a lot from the Lady Amalthea from The Last Unicorn. I saw a lot of the vibe in the outfits and the way the animators got them to move. It was giving me that huge Rankin Bass vibe. But then on top of that, there's a lot of Hayao Miyazaki very much in this film. Very Miyazaki-based. I'm seeing a lot of... People say a lot of Castle in the Sky. I see a lot of Princess Mononoke. In this, specifically when we get to Fangorn Forest. Yes, Fangorn is somewhat established in this, and there's some cool visual aesthetics that remind me a lot of Mononoke. In fact, the main character reminds me of the main princess from that. And I'm all cool with that. I'm cool with that idea. Give me a Miyazaki Lord of the Rings. I'm in. But outside of that, like, in terms of, if you guys are wondering, are there any connections to Lord of the Rings, to the trilogy or The Hobbit? Yes and no. Very brief. They keep it very brief. They do not shove that nostalgia down your throat. Thank God. They do it in such a subtle way where there's nice surprises here. There are locations you recognize that you're like, oh yeah, that's so cool they brought that in. There are characters, like one character specifically, that does show up. And it's at the very end, and it's one line, and they didn't do anything to disrespect the character. In fact, I thought it was a loving tribute. And then there are a couple of name drops. There's especially one at the end that I'm like, okay, I kind of want to see another one. And then on top of that, there is one little hint to Sauron coming back eventually. And that does kind of tie into The Hobbit in terms of a certain character's goal in the Hobbit trilogy, which, again, it's a part of that trilogy I really liked, is one character's goal, one character's quest, which I think was one of the most fascinating parts of that trilogy. So the fact that they keep that up in this, or like kind of started off to a degree, especially how they end it, I was cool with that. Again, I want to see more of this style. And I want to see more of Jackson's universe with Lord of the Rings, because there is more to be told in this universe of Middle-earth. But overall, like, this was great. I think this was a good way to cap the year off of movies for me. Now, do I plan to do more reviews, hopefully before Christmas and before New Year's? Maybe. I know a lot of people want me to see Wicked. I might go see that next week. I'm a little late to the game on that, but this is one I definitely wanted to get out this week because it just came out. I love Lord of the Rings. I really like this movie, and I want to also just counter all these motherfuckers tearing it apart. I'm literally looking at the Rooks like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, y'all are not giving this a chance. I would recommend as many people to go see this. Try to give it some love. If you don't see it in theaters, get it on Blu-ray, get it on 4K, support it through home video releases, watch it when it comes out eventually on streaming, but I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I like this more than I do the Amazon Lord of the Rings. I'm more in line with Jackson's universe. This is definitely for me a good 9 out of 10. This is one of the better movies of the year for me. I was really having a good time with this, and I want more. I want more of this era of Lord of the Rings in the Jackson universe. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Go check it out. It's a good way to cap off the year. If you love Lord of the Rings, if you love the trilogy, if you love The Hobbit, you're gonna like this. So let me know your thoughts overall on Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim in the comments below. Don't forget to support our Patreon. Just $1 more will get you early access to all of our content, plus other special features. Our Christmas special is almost done. I'm on the very end of it right now, and I just want to get this vlog out here for you guys, but that's all I got for now. So until the next video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. And also a huge thank you to Cineplex for making this. Can you make more of this shit? This is awesome. I didn't even need it for popcorn. I mean, I'm still eating the popcorn from the theater, but the fact that it's like a role-play hammer, like a prop hammer, like, this is awesome. So until the next video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off saying, "For